Hi, this is Elijah Hernandez, the editor-in-chief of The Echo, Cal Lutheran student newspaper. Since January 24th, Cal Lutheran has added a COVID-19 testing site in the parking lot outside of the Gilbert Sports and Fitness Center. Our reporter, Madison Kosar, had the chance to connect with the Interim Director of Health Services, Saul Miller, Associate Vice President of Planning Services, Ryan Van Omeren, and Director of Campus Safety, David Hilke, to get insight on how the campus is impacted by this new resource. Welcome, Madison.
Thank you so much for having me. So my name is Madison. I'm a communication major with an emphasis in advertising and PR. I'm a senior. And yeah, this is my first time working on The Echo.
Awesome. Well, you wrote an article about the COVID-19 testing site that we have in the Gilbert parking lot. So can you talk about the background information you received from Ryan Van Omeren and Saul Miller about how the testing site was set up in the parking lot and who was able to use it?
Yeah, so it's an official state of California drive-through style testing site. If you've been to the one at the Oaks Mall, it's the same as that. So it's funded and ran by the state. It's not through CLU. So anyone can use it, not just students and faculty. Anyone in the state of California can sign up. So they take appointments online, or you can just do a walk up, they call it, but it technically is just you pull up in your car. They don't have people get out of their car just to keep it safe for the students on campus. It's a nasal PCR test, and it takes about 2 days to get your results.
Okay. And if students wanted to make an appointment, would they look up this testing site online? Or can they just drive up in their car, or can they do both?
Yeah. So the appointments can be made on logisticscarehealth.com. And then if they wanted to just pull up in their car, that's totally fine too. They take, you don't necessarily need an appointment. You just have to stay in your car.
Okay, awesome. And I know you briefly talked about this with Saul Miller, but can you talk a little bit about when a student should go to health services or go to the parking lot to get tested?
Yeah, so they just wanted to have a bunch of options for students, so there wasn't any issue on them getting tested. So if you want to stay in your car, you don't want to have to get out, you can always do the testing site in Gilbert parking lot, or you can make an appointment through health services for a rapid in-office test. Those do require appointments because you have to have a medical professional administer the test. And that is probably the quickest since it is a rapid testing site. But they also have a different test for asymptomatic students. So if you don't have symptoms, but you still want to get tested for whatever reason, they have a self-service testing site right out front of health services that I believe is open 24/7, and that's just a walk-up.
Okay, so it's recommended that students who are experiencing symptoms probably make an appointment with health services to get the rapid test.
Yeah, I think they just want to express that there's so many options for you. So if you're feeling any sort of symptoms, you can come into health services and get a rapid test, or you can go to the Gilbert parking lot. But that will just be about a 2-day wait for your results.
Okay.
So wear your mask on campus if you're concerned.
Yes. And I know that you also had the opportunity to talk with David Hilke, the Director of Campus Safety. So parking can sometimes get full depending on the events that are happening on that side of campus. So what did they mention they were doing to help with the parking?
So he actually said he didn't have that much to do with the testing facility, but he did say that the parking, they put up signage to help direct the flow of traffic, and they made the Overton Court area one way to make it simpler for drivers. But he said they haven't experienced any sort of issues in relation to parking in sports events so far.
Can you share with us what you learned about what happens when a student tests positive, and what are the steps they take after the positive result?
Yeah, so if a student tests positive, they're told to email COVID-19 reporting at callutheran.edu. And once they do that, they are given the next steps to follow. And the steps of pretty much just follow the California Department of Public Health guidelines. And then I know the CLU also offers like an isolation building for students if they want somewhere else to isolate.
All right. Well, those are all of the questions I have for you today. Thank you so much, Madison. I really appreciate you being on with us.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
If you have any questions about COVID protocols, you can send an email to covidquestions@callutheran.edu. Here's what else you need to know this week. The Cal Lutheran Regals basketball team won a game against Occidental Tigers with a score of 80-72. Head coach Kelly DeMiro said a change in defensive scheme and team camaraderie played a role in their fourth quarter comeback. Our reporter Matthew Schwagabai has more on the story. Cal Lutheran also kicked off Black History Month with an introduction from President Lori Valada, poetry from Dr. Erica Jackson, served with soul food, and an open mic platform for students. Our news editor, Taylor Love, has more on the story. All stories discussed in this episode can be found online at cluecho.com. Thank you for listening.